Sarah sits in her car outside the office building. She's been sitting here for 20 minutes. The English conversation class starts in 10 minutes. Her hands are shaking, her heart is racing, her palms are sweating. She drives home without going inside. This happens 3 times, 3 weeks in a row. She pays for the class but never attends. Sarah isn't lazy. She isn't unmotivated. Sarah is terrified. Today, I'm going to tell you Sarah's story, how she went from being paralyzed by fear to confidently speaking English in just 30 days, and more importantly, how you can do the same. Let's begin. Sarah is 32 years old. She works as an accountant in a mid-sized company. She's intelligent. She's hardworking. She's good at her job. But Sarah has a secret problem, a problem that's holding her back from promotions, from opportunities, from the career she deserves. Sarah is terrified of speaking English. She can read English. She can write English emails, slowly with a lot of checking. She can understand English when she reads it. But speaking? Speaking makes her physically sick. Her company has international clients. Meetings are sometimes in English. Her boss has hinted that she needs to improve her English communication skills if she wants to advance. Sarah knows this. She desperately wants to improve, but every time she tries to speak English, the same thing happens. Her mind goes blank, her throat closes up, her voice shakes, her face turns red. She forgets even the simplest words. This isn't just nervousness. This isn't normal anxiety. Psychologists call it foreign language anxiety or glossophobia, fear of speaking. For Sarah, it's a wall, an invisible prison. She knows what she wants to say, but fear won't let the words come out. The shame spiral. The worst part? Sarah blames herself. She thinks, everyone else can speak English. What's wrong with me? Why am I so stupid? But Sarah isn't stupid. Sarah is experiencing a real, documented psychological phenomenon. Studies show that 75% of people experience some level of anxiety when speaking a foreign language. For some people, like Sarah, this anxiety is so severe it becomes debilitating. Sarah has tried everything. Online courses, she completes the lessons but never practices speaking. Language apps, she does the exercises silently. YouTube videos, she watches but doesn't repeat out loud. The conversation class, she pays but doesn't attend. Nothing works because Sarah never actually speaks. She's stuck in a cycle. She's afraid to speak, so she doesn't practice speaking, so she doesn't improve, so she's more afraid to speak. Repeat. This is the fear spiral, and millions of English learners are trapped in it. The breaking point. 6 months ago, Sarah's worst nightmare happened. Her boss asked her to join a video call with a client from Australia, just to introduce herself. 30 seconds, that's all. Sarah agreed. She couldn't say no. For 3 days before the call, Sarah couldn't sleep. She wrote down exactly what she would say. She practiced in the mirror. She rehearsed the sentences 100 times. The day of the call arrived. The client was kind, friendly, patient. He said, "Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you. Tell me a little about yourself." Sarah opened her mouth. Nothing came out. She tried again. Her lips moved, but the words were stuck in her throat. 5 seconds of silence, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Her boss stepped in. "Sorry, Sarah's connection is bad. Let me introduce her." After the call, Sarah went to the bathroom and cried. That night, she made a decision. I can't live like this anymore. Something has to change. Sarah searched online, how to overcome fear of speaking English. She found articles, videos, courses. Most of them said the same things. Just practice more. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Confidence comes with time. These tips were useless. Sarah knew she needed to practice. She knew she shouldn't be afraid. But knowing doesn't help when your body physically freezes. Then she found a forum. A post from someone describing exactly what she felt. The shaking hands, the racing heart, the blank mind. And someone had replied with a simple message. I had the same problem. I fixed it in 30 days. Here's what I did. The poster's name was Marcus. He shared a method he called the 30-day fear reset. Sarah read it, then read it again and again. It seemed too simple, almost too obvious. But Sarah had nothing to lose. The next day, she started the 30-day fear reset. This is what happened. Days 1 through 3, the foundation, speaking to herself. Marcus's method had one core principle. You can't go from zero to speaking with native speakers. You need to build your speaking muscle gradually, like physical exercise. Day 1 task. Speak English out loud for 5 minutes, alone in your room, about anything. Sarah felt ridiculous. Talking to herself? How would this help? But she set a timer for 5 minutes and started talking. My name is Sarah. I am 32 years old. I work as an accountant. I like... She stumbled. She paused. She felt stupid. But she kept going for 5 minutes. Day 1, complete. Day 2, same thing. 5 minutes of speaking alone. This time, it was slightly easier. She talked about her day, her job, her family. Day 3, she noticed something. The words came a little faster. The pauses were shorter. Key insight. Speaking alone removed the fear of judgment. Sarah's brain started to relax because there was no one to disappoint. Sarah searched online, how to overcome fear of speaking English. She found articles, videos, courses. Most of them said the same things. Just practice more. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Confidence comes with time. These tips were useless. Sarah knew she needed to practice. She knew she shouldn't be afraid, but knowing doesn't help when your body physically freezes. Then she found a forum, a post from someone describing exactly what she felt, the shaking hands, the racing heart, the blank mind. And someone had replied with a simple message. I had the same problem. I fixed it in 30 days. Here's what I did. The poster's name was Marcus. He shared a method he called the 30-day fear reset. Sarah read it, then read it again and again. It seemed too simple, almost too obvious. But Sarah had nothing to lose. The next day, she started the 30-day fear reset. This is what happened. Days 1 through 3, the foundation, speaking to herself. Marcus's method had one core principle. You can't go from zero to speaking with native speakers. You need to build your speaking muscle gradually, like physical exercise. Day 1 task. Speak English out loud for 5 minutes, alone, in your room, about anything. Sarah felt ridiculous. Talking to herself? How would this help? But she set a timer for 5 minutes and started talking. My name is Sarah. I am 32 years old. I work as an accountant. I like... She stumbled. She paused. She felt stupid. But she kept going for 5 minutes. Day 1, complete. Day 2, same thing. 5 minutes of speaking alone. This time it was slightly easier. She talked about her day, her job, her family. Day 3, she noticed something. The words came a little faster. The pauses were shorter. Key insight. Speaking alone removed the fear of judgment. Sarah's brain started to relax because there was no one to disappoint. Days 4 through 7. Adding complexity. Recording herself. Day 4 task. Record yourself speaking for 2 minutes. Don't listen to it yet. Just record. Sarah used her phone. She talked about her weekend plans. She hit record and spoke for 2 minutes. Then she stopped recording. She didn't listen to it. Marcus's instructions were clear. Don't listen yet. Just get comfortable recording. Days 5, 6, 7. More recordings. Different topics. Still not listening. By day 7, Sarah could record herself without feeling too nervous. Key insight. Recording made speaking feel more real, but not listening removed the self-criticism that would trigger fear. Days 8 through 10. Facing the recording. Building self-compassion. Day 8 task. Listen to one of your recordings. Do not criticize yourself. Just listen. This was hard. Sarah listened to her day 4 recording. She heard her accent, her mistakes, her pauses, her hesitations. Her first instinct, I sound terrible. But Marcus's instructions said, write down 3 things you did well in the recording. Not what was wrong, what was right. Sarah forced herself. I spoke for the full 2 minutes without stopping. My pronunciation of some words was clear. I explained my idea even with mistakes. This was revolutionary. Sarah had only ever focused on what was wrong, never on what was right. Days 9 through 10. More listening, more finding the good. Slowly, Sarah's harsh inner voice started to soften. Key insight. Self-compassion is the antidote to fear. Fear grows from harsh self-judgment. Compassion creates safety. Days 11 through 14. Safe practice, talking to AI. Day 11. Task. Have a 5-minute conversation with an AI chatbot or voice assistant. Sarah used ChatGPT's voice feature. She asked it questions. It responded. She replied. It was awkward at first, but the AI didn't judge. It didn't get impatient. It just responded. Sarah talked about her work, her hobbies, her fears. The AI said, "That's interesting. Tell me more." No pressure, no judgment, just practice. Over days 11 through 14, Sarah spent 5 to 10 minutes daily talking with the AI. Key insight. AI provides zero-stakes practice. It's speaking practice without human anxiety. Days 15 through 17, the first human, asynchronous voice messages. Day 15. Task. Send a voice message, WhatsApp or Telegram, etc., to someone in English. Sarah joined an online English exchange group. She sent a 30-second voice introduction to a stranger from Brazil who was learning English too. Her heart raced when she hit send. But something amazing happened. The person responded with their own voice message, also nervous, also making mistakes. Sarah realized everyone is scared. Days 16 through 17, more voice messages, back and forth, asynchronous, not live, so she could take her time. Key insight: asynchronous removes the pressure of real-time response. You can pause, think, and try again. Days 18 through 21, low-pressure real-time, talking to strangers online. Day 18, task: join a language exchange app like HelloTalk or Tandem and have a 3-minute voice call. Sarah found a partner, a friendly woman from the Philippines who wanted to practice English too. They agreed, let's both be beginners, let's both make mistakes, no judgment. The first call was 3 minutes. Sarah's voice shook, but she did it. Day 19, another call, 5 minutes, easier. Day 20, another partner, 5 minutes, even easier. Day 21, Sarah realized something incredible. The fear was shrinking. Key insight: low-pressure social practice with other learners builds confidence without overwhelming fear. Days 22 to 25, controlled exposure, structured conversations. Day 22 task: attend an online English conversation class, but with a specific rule. You're allowed to make mistakes. Sarah joined a group class on a platform called Preply. Small group, 5 students, all intermediate learners. The teacher was warm and encouraging. The other students were also nervous. For the first time, Sarah spoke in a class. She made mistakes, many mistakes. But the teacher said, "Great, making mistakes means you're learning." The other students made mistakes too. Days 23 to 25, more classes, more speaking, more mistakes. Sarah felt the fear, but she spoke anyway. Key insight: controlled environments, classes with supportive teachers, provide safety while challenging you. Days 26 to 28, real-world practice, low-stakes situations. Day 26 task: speak English in a real but low-stakes situation. Sarah went to a tourist area in her city. She found a foreign-looking tourist looking at a map. She took a deep breath and said, "Excuse me, do you need help?" The tourist smiled. "Yes, I'm looking for the museum." Sarah gave directions in English, with mistakes, but the tourist understood and thanked her. Sarah had just helped someone using English in the real world. Days 27 to 28, more real-world practice, ordering coffee in English at a cafe for tourists, asking a question at an international shop. Small, low-stakes moments, but real. Key insight: low-stakes real-world practice proves to your brain that speaking English is safe. Days 29 through 30. The test: facing the original fear. Day 29. Sarah decided to test herself. She scheduled a practice interview in English with a career coach. A real conversation. 20 minutes. She was nervous, but not paralyzed. The interview happened. Sarah spoke. She made mistakes, but she communicated. Afterwards, the coach said, "Your English is good. You just need more confidence." Day 30. Sarah joined a work video call in English. Not as a silent participant, as an active speaker. She introduced herself. She answered a question. She contributed an idea. Her voice didn't shake. Her mind didn't go blank. The words came out. After the call, her boss said, "Sarah, that was great. I'm impressed." What changed in 30 days? Sarah's English didn't magically become perfect. She still made mistakes. She still had an accent. but her relationship with fear completely transformed. Before, fear controlled her. It stopped her from even trying. After, fear was still there, but it didn't paralyze her. She could feel it and speak anyway. Sarah learned the most important lesson. Fear doesn't disappear, but it loses its power when you face it gradually. The 30-day fear reset worked because it followed a psychological principle called gradual exposure therapy. You don't jump into the deep end. You start in the shallow end and go deeper step by step. Days 1 through 3, speak alone, 0 fear. Days 4 through 10, record and listen, low fear. Days 11 through 14, speak to AI, controlled fear. Days 15 through 17, voice messages, medium fear. Days 18 through 21, group classes, structured fear. Days 26 through 28, real world, real fear. Days 29 through 30, the test, full challenge. Each step built confidence for the next step. By day 30, Sarah wasn't fearless, but she was brave. And brave is better than fearless. What can you learn from Sarah's story? Lesson 1. Your fear is real and valid. Don't tell yourself, just get over it. Fear of speaking is a real psychological response. Acknowledge it. Lesson 2. You can't think your way out of fear. No amount of grammar study or vocabulary memorization will cure speaking fear. You must speak to cure speaking fear. Lesson 3. Start where you are, not where you wish you were. If speaking to a native speaker terrifies you, don't start there. Start by speaking alone. Build gradually. Lesson 4. Progress is not linear. Sarah had bad days during the 30 days, days when she felt like she wasn't improving. That's normal. Keep going. Lesson 5. Self-compassion is your superpower. The harsh voice in your head, "You're so stupid, you can't speak English," creates fear. Replace it with compassion. "I'm learning, and that's hard, and I'm doing my best." Lesson 6. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action despite fear. Sarah was still nervous on day 30, but she spoke anyway. That's courage. Lesson 7. The only way out is through. There's no shortcut, no magic trick. The only way to overcome speaking fear is to speak. But you can make it easier by going step by step. Here's what you can do today. If you have speaking fear, start the 30-day fear reset. Week 1, speak alone for 5 minutes daily. Talk about your day, your thoughts, anything. Week 2, record yourself. Don't listen yet, just record. Week 3, listen to your recordings. Find 3 good things in each one. Week 4, speak with an AI, then send voice messages, then have a call with another learner. By day 30, you'll be speaking. Not perfectly, but bravely. And that's all you need. If Sarah's story resonated with you, if you've ever felt that same fear, subscribe to this channel. Tomorrow, we return to Geography English with a new country to explore. But right now, I want you to do something. Close this video, set a timer for 5 minutes, and speak English out loud, alone, about anything. Day 1 starts today. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. See you tomorrow. You've got this.